The 17 Sustainable Development Goals are the blueprint for a better and more sustainable future for all. They address issues ranging from peace and justice, climate change, inequality, environmental degradation, poverty, among others. There are many communities across the more than 700 local governments in Nigeria, and each of these communities are yearning for development. Many of them are to reach. At some time, it takes several hours. Some of these communities can only be accessed through the waterways. They are looking up to their representatives and those in government to make life worth living, while also demanding for the provision of basic amenities. At the forefront of these campaigns are civil society organizations advocating for the provision of health facilities, the remediation of polluted environments, access to potable water, good citadels of learning, increased girl-child education, eradication of sexual and gender-based violence, among others. One that catches our eye on Community Forum is Connected Development, led by 35-year-old Hamzat Lawal, an anti-corruption activist. CODE's mission is to empower marginalized communities, and it began in 2012. Over the years, it has been creating platforms for dialogue, enabling informed debate, and building capacities of citizens on how to hold their government accountable. Through a concept, Follow the Money, the organization's governance, accountability, and transparency initiative, which spans across many African countries.
Follow the Money tries to answer where funds are coming from, where they're going to, but most importantly, how judiciously these funds are being utilized to ensure transparency and accountability at the grassroots. I'm always excited to say this. Follow the Money is a homegrown initiative that started in Nigeria and now a Pan-African movement. Follow the Money now have over 6,000 fast-growing members on ifollowthemoney.org. So we leverage on technology too to mobilize young people, but most importantly to document voices when we come to community outreach. When we document these voices, we amplify them using social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, but most importantly bringing government attention to these voices and bringing people closer to the government. Follow the Money so far has tracked over $158 million, and we've saved government over 50 billion naira from our tracking initiative. In Yobe State, for instance, we've tracked over 2.5 billion naira in the area of basic healthcare, access to water, sanitation and hygiene, and also access to primary education in various grassroots communities. There's a thin line between insecurity, unemployment, access to healthcare, over 10 million out-of-school children, and of course, poverty and corruption. There's a thin line between, this If we must achieve the Sustainable Development Goal in Nigeria, we must go beyond the surface.
And for 2 years, the Community Forum team has followed their campaigns across Nigeria.
We initiate a coal tracking campaigns in Bayamari from GDSS Bayamari, where we have been able to track implementation of renovation of 3 blocks of classroom, office and store, 2 blocks of 2 classrooms, office and store, and 4 big VIP toilets. As a part of the campaign, we engage the community leaders, the principal, and young people in the community, where they are able to monitor the implementation of the project from the start of the implementation up to the completion of the implementation.
We track the construction of primary health care here in Martina local government, and now the primary health care has already been constructed.
I just have money. We're only having one major road. Once you enter bus straight, that road to Finima. Are we not supposed to have other linking roads? So please, we need.
Women, men dying because of no hospital, no health center. At all, we are only dependent on chemists.
Apart from the noise making of a thing that cannot hear each other, you see a lot the smoke, very blackish, polluting the air. And all this oil don't spoil all things where we plant.
When we dey fishing, the oil spoil the water. There is nothing like fish.
When we are talking about projects, when we are talking about the custodian of abandoned projects, I think we will have a higher mark. Even though we have so many abandoned projects, so many. Most of these projects were initiated by the government via NDDC.
You need to be here in the evening and see how people queue up here to fetch water. And sometimes a lot of problems, people will be fighting buckets and here and there. So we'll be happy if government will come to our need.
We have asked about finish. Machine go around. Come, Kadam. Go house. Because of the road. See how they suffer. We are the Kadam for head. Some woman they fall inside there. The other 4 days today. Where pass. 3 women fall there. 1 wound like break for this crude oil.
There's a lot of up and down when it comes to gender-based violence in Kano State here.
For 10 years, CODE has leveraged on technology to mobilize young people across Africa, documenting voices of those at the grassroots, bringing government's attention to decaying infrastructure and closing the gap between the people and their representatives. In 2019 alone, Follow the Money saved the Nigerian people and the government 477 million naira by blocking financial leakages in funded rural community projects. Connected Development's Follow the Money advocacy-based initiative tracks and advocates for proper utilization of funds in government and international interventions in grassroots communities.
With support from Ford Foundation, in the past 12 months, we've been engaging and empowering marginalized communities. And for me, this support has helped us actualize our sustainability plan and our successes as Follow the Money. Over the years, we've been thinking about how can we ensure that in as much as we can't be in every community at the same time, but have presence and feel the impact and able to document community voices and amplify them. Today I'm excited that we've not only transferred knowledge to community members, but we've given them the right skills, the right tool and platform to, one, engage their community, their own immediate community. Two, organize town hall meetings, get women leaders, get youth leaders, bring their elderly people to have conversation around what are the prevalent issues and what are the call to action for their government. And for me, it's really exciting to see that we have these young champions, like we call them Follow the Money champions, taking the bull by their horn and engaging in governance, fiscal accountability, transparency, but demanding for action. And when we started, we're in some of these communities, some of them don't have access road, they don't have potable drinking water, no primary health care centers. And we organize town hall meetings, we use our mobile phone to document amateur pictures and videos. But today, visiting some of these communities, we're seeing that they've built them hundreds of kilometers of road. So now they can travel easily from their home or their communities and connect to other communities. And this has also reduced their cost of running businesses. So this is really exciting, and we're seeing that communities are now becoming more peaceful and they really understand the model of Follow the Money. So for me, I cannot be in Karanamuda in Zamfara State. I cannot be in Ihima in Kogi State. I cannot be in Ikeja in Lagos State. But having young Nigerians who are patriotic, who are demanding for accountability and transparency on how governments are using public resources and taxpayers' money to bring about this change, this tangible change. And we can feel it on the ground, connecting to budget, connecting to demands, and giving citizens that good governance and the dividend of democracy.
All right, so you get to join the conversation. Yes, you get to join these town hall meetings. You get to join the conversation. Yes, we're talking abandoning of projects, how we can fix it, how we can...
Through the Follow the Money radio show, which is broadcast in Pidgin, the civil society organization is fostering citizen participation and government accountability. The movement has evolved over the years, raising champions, inaugurating more chapters across Nigeria, and leading campaigns in hard-to-reach communities. The champions are taking one community at a time, growing their own capacity and impacting the lives of those in their immediate communities.
And if you look around you, you'll find out that what you have around is as a result of neglect, owing to the fact that government are not accountable enough. 10 years down the line, it will still be the same question. How much are you earning as a government? How much have you budgeted? What are you doing with the money? What you said you're going to do with the money, has it been done correctly? So that question will still be asked, even 20 years afterwards. So even 10 years down the line, Follow the Money will still be needed in the society, because for me, it gives citizens an opportunity to be able to be the conscience of the society, to be able to hold government accountable and ensure that they do that which they are supposed to do.
We've been having opportunity to engage both the executive arm of government and the legislature. So we have had series of advocacy visits. We've had various parley sessions with state actors, and so far so good. Our engagement is yielding positive results, and though we are not yet there, we are hopeful that we will be there. And not only engaging the state actors, the various organs and various community stakeholders. Connected Development have over the years built their capacity.
We have empowered host communities also to understand some of the global trends that are happening now, like gender inclusion. For example, in Obodogwa community, we discovered when we came on board that in their community development committees, they never had any woman operating within the CDC. And so we engage them, train them on gender inclusion. And as we speak now, they have 50-50 representation for male and female. And then it has led to improved developmental trend that those things that affect women are now being better captured in their development plans. For example, they didn't have any markets and the men didn't feel it was something significant to have. They never had any PHC and now it is coming on board, and all of that, you know, that drags women into developmental issues.
Code has helped a lot. They have really enlightened us because with Code, we've known that it is good for women to come together in order to have a common goal. So coming together, we've been able to help our women to start up small business. With Code, we know that it is our responsibility to know what is going on in the community, that women should be part of decision making. And Code has also helped us to know that when we see a project, abandoned project, we should find out who is the person handling this project. Then we follow up so that such project can be completed. Code has also helped us to know that we should not be less concerned. We should hammer on the community, the leaders, to carry out projects that will really help women.
Connected Development came in to support the Obodogwa community to have necessary good plans for their communities. We bought in, and we have had a number of interactions that have been useful. That's why Obodogwa is always coming out with projects that will support the community development and will also bring improvement to the community.
And connected development has been one of those factors that has projected the challenges and the plight of the community. And they have also supported in so many ways the agencies that are responsible in handling series of development and challenges in government and that of the IOC. So they have done a lot to give us that education and also project our interest to the world.
Connected Development currently has about 8,000 champions stationed in all 36 states in Nigeria and 9 other countries in Africa. We caught up with some state leads and champions to ask why they decided to join the movement that seeks to empower communities.
I decided to join Codes and Follow the Money initiative because I believe strongly that the vision of Follow the Money is one that is achievable, and it is a vision that seeks to address the issues of corruption in our country. You can agree with me that corruption has been the bedrock of all the ills that we've seen in this nation, especially as it regards the poor, or you can say the pro-poor or the marginalized in the community. So I came on board Code because I am somebody that is also passionate about seeing this change in government and in our leaders, especially the ones elected into public office. It has afforded me opportunity to engage with government executives and to talk to them about the challenges of the community people, with support from the community. So we've had instances where duty bearers had to make commitments to see how they're going to bring about a change. And we've also seen situation where on our line of duty, we've been able to have contractors that actually abandoned projects to return to site. And especially our advocacy program on radio has gotten a lot of impact. It has actually activated government to take certain actions, even though sometimes those actions are not directly on a thematic area, but we've seen a lot of impact, and for me that's awesome.
My interest in joining Code or becoming a member of Connected Development Code is because of the visions of the organization, which is around the thematic areas of transparency and accountability, social accountability, transparency, and sustainable development issues.
My idea and understanding of Follow the Money is something that I've actually been passionate about, which is focused on tracking abandoned projects, especially government abandoned projects. There are a lot of them around Nigeria, and sometimes we don't know how to go about talking to the government to work on them. So when I saw the opportunity with Follow the Money organization, I thought that this was a good thing to do, and it was an organization to follow.
In 2020, the Follow the Money team, in partnership with Ford Foundation, tracked about 19 projects in 10 oil-rich communities in Nigeria, spearheading campaigns like #ConstructEkpena PHC in Auda East local government area of River State, #Renovate UPE CSS Ekpena for a conducive learning environment for the students and pupils of Universal Primary School and Community Secondary School in Ekpena community. The #Water Odiemere, tracking the rehabilitation of abandoned NDDC water project in Odiemere, #Educate Bonny, #Rehabilitate Odagwa School, among other campaigns.
In 2020, with support from Ford Foundation, Connected Development got the support to be able to empower oil-rich communities, empower them with information for them to be able to hold their government accountable and demand for accountability with regards spending of funds. Now, particularly, we're focused on oil communities because of the large expanse of degradation that has happened over the years in these oil communities. So that led to that partnership between Connected Development and Ford Foundation. Now, when we started this project, we identified 19 projects in 10 communities scattered across these oil communities. And these projects were at various levels of completion. In fact, some were even non-existent. But due to our interaction, first, we started with a capacity building workshop for community members, government agencies, media, for them to understand that this is how it is done. This is how you can actually hold government. These are the steps that with which you could do that. Then next, we took it a step further by identifying these projects. Afterwards, we were able to carry out plenary visits, community outreach, and now, currently, we're actually having town hall meetings across these communities to understand the state at which this project implementation has gone, also gather information upon to talk about how this project implementation is affecting the community members. Is it going well? Yes, if it's going well, can we applaud the government? If it's not going well, can we look at those issues with the project implementation and then amplify these findings for government to be able to respond to each and every one of them?
But these efforts come with challenges.
Our biggest challenge is access. It took us a speedboat driving about 130 kilometers per hour. It took us about 1.5 hours to get to Boni. Now, getting to Boni, even traveling within Boni, and with the high rate of insecurity in Nigeria, for us, access is a big issue. Imagine Boni Island is not even connected, to the mainland, and you have to go through boats. Imagine if our boat had capsized or the engine of the boat had issue in the middle of nowhere. So that's one big, challenge for us. I'm just giving you an example in Boni. Accessing communities in Niger State, in Zamfara State, across Nigeria, we have terrible infrastructure where you can't even travel and document their voices and bring government closer to the people. One other challenge is, access to information. Today, we engage government with instrument of the freedom of information or using the open government partnership. But a lot of government MDAs, that's ministries, department, and agencies, will not respond to your freedom of information request. Today, when you look at Nigeria's very complex budget, you see budget line of maybe 30 million naira to build a new primary healthcare center. But it's saying it's in Zamfara State. Where in Zamfara State? Which local government? In some budget document, you see the local government, but which community is meant to benefit from it? Because for us, we must be able to tie this intervention to a specific location. That's how we can engage government representative and the people that are meant to benefit. The idea is to ensure that community take ownership of what comes to them. So a lot of government MDAs, they don't respond to our freedom of information requests. In most cases, they shut their doors at us. And maybe one last challenge is access to resources. So it costs a lot to go to communities. It costs a lot to document voices, to help amplify them. You know, we have to buy data, and data is really expensive in Nigeria. You know, we have to buy technology to, we have to transport ourselves, and even now with insecurity, we have to go with private security. So these are some of our prevalent challenges. And of course, over the years, we've been harassed, we've been intimidated, you know, we've been threatened.
Saying follow the money now.
Follow the Money hopes to
Just
keep
like,
fighting corruption. It is a mandate that it holds dear as Nigeria intensifies efforts to achieve the 17 Sustainable Development Goals.
Over 60% of our population are the grassroots. If you don't engage this population, imagine if they all migrate to city center. That would be a ticking time bomb, and we can't handle it. So let's take development closer to the people.